everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Dogs.
Orville Redenbacher.
Redenbacher. I love Orville Redenbacher seed popcorn.
Yes, that is the premier popcorn. Everybody goes crazy for the microwave Orville Redenbacher with the pour-over butter. Not good.
No microwave popcorn is good. Zero.
The best popcorn that I've had recently was the day-old popcorn I ate the day after I saw Alien Romulus.
You still have my bucket.
I do. It's on my table.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need that back.
You can have it back.
It's not like those cool buckets, because now the movie theater's new scam are collectible popcorn buckets. How many popcorn buckets do you think people need? This will work a couple times.
Yeah.
People are not buying more buckets.
Well, people bought the Dune one for
because SNL made a skit about it.
Yeah, for deviant reasons, I believe.
SNL made a skit about it, and then Deadpool made a funny bucket. But if they keep doing this, no one's buying you buckets.
No. I don't need a bucket.
I don't need a face hugger bucket. What you could do is collectible soda cups.
Ooh, yeah, I do that.
And you just an extra $2.
No.
Yep. If I'm going to get a $12 large soda and I can get like the Alien Romulus. Hey, everybody, this is Brad. And I love movies. I love movies today.
I generally love movies all the time. My name's Tyler. I'm particularly high on a certain movie.
Yes. Do you want to talk about the Dora the Explorer movie?
Come on, everybody, vamonos. Everybody, let's go.
Swipe or no swiping. That's actually a reference to one of the actors in the film.
I thought it was a Tinder thing.
Tinder?
Swiping.
Lips of an Angel.
Yes.
That's Hinder.
Dude, all right, so I think about this. No shit, honest to God, I think about this once a week.
Hinder,
Lips of an Angel.
Why?
Because dude's girlfriend was like, he's like, do you want to hear the master for our new single? And she's like, yeah, hon, that sounds great. And like they were probably cuddled up on the couch and he was like, all right, check this out. And then she starts listening to the words and it's like, it's really good to hear your voice, Sam. And then she's like, who's the other girl? And then I believe that the lead singer was so like drunk and on drugs the entire time. He's like, did I just out myself?
Oh my God.
But I think about that. Because he either really did cheat on his girl or he wrote a song about cheating and didn't actually cheat. Somebody's not telling the truth in that scenario.
Tyler, I absolve you of all thoughts of Hinder. You don't need to anymore. Let it go. We just did the Hellblade episode, and it's about forgiving yourself. And it's okay to forgive your thoughts on Hinder.
I have all the lyrics of Lips of an Angel tattooed on my back.
Well, I hope everyone's loving hearing our voices today as we're talking about the fantastic Alien Romulus.
Are you sure you want to do this? There she is.
You want to break in and steal highly regulated equipment.
This could be our only ticket out of here.
Welcome to the Romulus Space Station.
The fuck was that? Young!
Stop playing around, man. Just get up.
I'm not playing around. There's something in the water.
What do you mean there's something in the water?
No, there's just something in the fucking water. Run.
Impact event in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spoiler warning, I'm fucking high on this film.
Yeah, and spoiler warning, we are going to spoil the shit out of this entire movie from this point forward.
Yes, we are.
So turn back now if you haven't. Otherwise, we can ruin it for you, and then you can go in and be like, that was pretty cool still.
You should watch it.
And then come back and listen to this.
You should watch it, because it is fucking good.
Or just pop in an AirPod in one ear, and then listen to this while you're watching the movie.
I can't imagine a worse experience in my life.
Well, it'd be kind of like Senua's Saga. You just have two voices in your head the entire time. Like,
yeah, but no, it's not for this.
No, this is something you need to.
If you want to have one ear pod in your right ear and listen to Lips of an Angel on your left ear, we can do live commentary of Hinder tracks for a certain Patreon goal.
Oh, that'd be good.
Alien Romulus is directed by Fede Alvarez.
it should come as no surprise to anybody who's listened to this podcast for any number of episodes that I am a big fan of Fede because he directed my favorite Evil Dead movie.
He sure did.
And probably my second favorite horror movie of all time.
I won't go that far.
It follows...
I won't personally, but it is fantastic. I love Evil Dead 2013. I haven't seen Don't Breathe, which I've heard is very good. And I didn't even know he directed the girl who kicked the spider's nest.
Yeah.
And it's the fourth Lisbeth Salander girl.
Polish film. They're Polish.
Swedish.
Yeah, I was thinking The Witcher.
What's the girl with the dragon tattoo is the first one.
Yeah,
I didn't know that he directed that, and I would be curious to see it.
You haven't seen the originals?
I've seen the dragon tattoo, but I haven't seen the 2 sequels for the Noomi Rapace one, and I haven't seen the fourth, Spider's Nest. But Fede Alvarez is a very good horror director. He gets it.
He does.
And there's often more than kids chased by a monster. There's like an idea, a theme, like an overarching idea behind it. Because, the Alien franchise, it's got a lot of ups and downs. What are your thoughts on just the franchise? That's a big loaded question, but
the franchise, in my opinion, is split 3 ways.
Okay.
So you have the first 2 films, and I feel like that's kind of its own little thing there. Those were really good. Definitely leaned more into the horror sci-fi.
Disagree.
You don't think the first 2 are more horror than...
Aliens is not a horror film. That is a popcorn action film. To me, there is zero horror in Aliens.
I guess
it's James Cameron doing what James Cameron does best because he's James Cameron.
I guess I can give that to you kind of, because I feel like the subsequent 2 films after that are definitely more of the popcorn action flicks, and they aren't as good in quality.
I disagree again. Alien 3 it might try to be a popcorn action flick. Honestly, it's just a failed experiment in studio meddling with a great director. I don't know, because there's nothing popcorn about a bunch of convicted prisoners and inmates and rapists hanging out with a woman who's trying to save them. I mean, Tywin Lannister's there. That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, 3 and 4 are both failed experiments. 4, I've actually softened on in some ways.
I have a little bit. But after the first one, it was never as good as the first one for me.
Yeah, the first one is sci-fi horror.
Yep, and then it never gets back to that level. And I felt like it was a franchise that every time I saw the next one, I was like, all right, so this is just like kind of losing the thread here. And then you get Prometheus, and you switch to this like philosophical one. Like it really tries to delve into like creation and philosophy and religion and all this, and then you have Michael Fassbender there, and it looks super pretty. Mm-hmm. And I super liked Prometheus, and I loved Covenant.
Well, Prometheus, I was watching a Tarantino interview. I was like on the Late Show or something the other day. It was like an older interview, but they asked him about Prometheus. He's like, I have torn feelings on it because on one hand, it's so awesome to see big, thought-provoking sci-fi, and he's like, but it's also the characters are the dumbest characters in like cinema. Yeah. They're so dumb. And there's a point where, all right, I get it, Ridley Scott. You want to see your actors' pretty faces. It's the reason Game of Thrones characters don't wear beanies, because Jon Snow's got great hair.
Yeah.
And we need the girls to see it, and the boys, and your dog. Everyone wants to see Jon Snow's hair.
Yeah.
But the fact that the scientists immediately start taking their helmets off when they don't do that. Scientists do not do that. And they don't go, hey there, little buddy, to alien creature plant.
That's the dumbest thing they do in that film. The taking the helmets off is almost justified in my opinion because of the main dude. I forget the actor's name. Do you know his name?
No, I don't. He's like a Tom Hardy 0.5.
Hold on. I got to look this guy's name up because he's actually the main character in The Invitation, the movie I was just talking about.
Yeah. Yep. I know his face. It's criminal to me though when a character does when you want me to believe this is science fiction, your scientists need to behave in a smart manner.
Logan Marshall Green.
Okay.
He's like the lead scientist who's like running this shit, and his ego is definitely part, like he wants to be so right that he takes the helmet off first. And I feel like people kind of follow suit because they're like, well, that's the dude.
They also get there and like they find all this shit, and I don't even remember why. Like they were dead, and he was just sitting there like really sad. It's like, I thought we were going to get answers. Like, dude, you've been here for fucking half a day. You've been here half a day. Why don't we read a book in there? There's probably a wall mural that shows like a creature being born. I don't know. I had major issues with a lot of the writing of the characters, but the concept, yes, it's beautiful. It's science fiction. It's not horror. If anything, it's more cosmic horror. It's about that like hard to perceive creation myth. Yeah.
The horror really sticks for me when Naomi Rapace, is that how you...
Numi, I believe is how you say it?
Yeah.
Naomi Rapace?
When she's left on the planet and she realizes like, all right, the big ship has just crushed Charlize Theron and the other ship crashed. Like, I'm done. I'm here and I'm stranded on this planet alone until I die. Mm-hmm. That feeling of isolation and just zero chance, it's heavy.
Yeah.
And that horror kind of stuck with me. It's like this existential crisis that I had with the character at the time. Like if that was me, I'd go find the tallest cliff I could.
I don't know. I'd see my rations. I'd have fun for 3 weeks and then I'd do it. I would do stupid things. Then I would take my helmet off and play with the alien tentacles.
Yeah.
Then I would do stupid things.
Yeah, I would act irrationally, and it would turn out like if I just waited or walked a couple more miles west, there was like an entire village of goth girls.
You never know.
And you never know. And like the high life flows from the well, and it's just like
the sesame test. You're like, it's fucking high life. I know what this tastes like.
Yeah. I could live here forever.
This is the champagne, okay?
But
Prometheus, I loved it because it was also a fake out. Like, it's kind of alien, but it was also mostly not alien until the very end. It got a little alien.
Well, I liked that we're looking for the creation of life for human life, and you essentially end up seeing the creation of the xenomorph.
Yes.
That is what the creation we get faked out for is. And Fassbender's character...
David is fantastic.
Yeah, his whole AI, like his existential crisis of like wanting to be loved and wanting to be human, and then having a God complex out of nowhere because he realizes he's never going to achieve love.
That's my stuff right there.
That was so good. And then that piggybacks right into Covenant.
Would you do anything to find answers? And the guy's like, yep. And he goes, boop, put a little black goo right in your drink.
All right, here we go.
Fassbender really roofied the fuck out of him with that black goo.
Yeah, and then it piggybacks directly into Covenant, where then you have two Davids and another fake out ending that, again, there's just masterful horror because you realize his intentions.
But some of it's dumb. It still has a little bit of the dumb characters.
They got it better in Covenant, I think.
It was better, but there's still dumb characters.
Yeah.
And I don't believe you're science fiction if you don't have like a baseline of characters not being dumb. You can have flawed humans, and that's why it works. In the fucking young adults who are not scientists in this movie are way smarter than the scientists.
Yeah, and this is something that...
And they can get away with being dumb because they're not trained biologists.
And this is something that Fede does really well, is character motivation. Because thinking back to Evil Dead 2013, so you're going to have Deadites, and it's going to get crazy, but we have to get it there first.
Yeah.
So you have the characters like seclude themselves at the cabin because the girl is trying to get over a heroin addiction.
Great.
So you up the stakes to a point where you're like, she's gonna lie. She's gonna do whatever she can to get out of this scenario. So we cannot believe her. And it gives it just enough time for shit to fly off the handle in a believable way.
She has to face her own demons, and she will have to go through a horrible trial, much like she does in the film.
Yep.
Yep.
And he understands character motivation. And like you said, in this film, the stupid decisions make sense because these are not properly trained scientists.
And they're not even that like stupid of decisions. It's very human, rational decisions.
Oh, yeah.
It's one thing if somebody like in Prometheus is like, my wife, our best friend is dying. They've been attacked. We got to get him into the med bay. They're like, you can't come on the ship. Like, I understand those arguments.
Yeah.
But taking your helmet off, like, I think that's just regular oxygen. Give us an hour, dude. Let us just test for a little bit.
Yeah.
Can we just take a minute, dude?
It's fake oxygen. It's oxygen for 5 minutes, and then the moment you start breathing it, it turns into just like...
And you can have this little part, this area of the planet could have good oxygen. You can go underground, and there could be very harmful spores.
It's just methane gas.
Very bad things. There's multiple kinds of gases on a planet, you motherfucking assholes.
Yeah, and what's crazy about like alien life and alien planets is like, try to picture a color that does not exist. You can't do it.
Yeah.
It is possible, though. There is probably a color out there that the human mind has not seen on Earth.
No.
Take that concept and flip it as a concept.
I see what you mean.
But on an alien planet,
Yeah.
you can't even fathom what the law of physics, nature, whatever it might be, is on that planet.
There could be aliens, like, and not like the xenomorphs. There could be creatures that have sensory forms of perception we don't understand or can't conceive of.
There could be ways that they derive their nutrients from organic material that would be straight up horror shows that you can't even fathom.
Subscribe to our Patreon and go to the Doggies After Dark episode, How Do Aliens Fuck, if you want to hear more on this topic. So Alien 1, Sigourney Weaver and Ian Holm, who will make an appearance in this film as a different android, not the same one, but at the end of the film, she evacuates the xenomorph out of the ship, the Nostromo, and she gets away.
Yep.
And that's where Alien 1 leaves off. Alien Romulus takes place between Alien 1 and Alien 2.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. Our director, Fede Alvarez, co-written by Rodo Sayagues. I'm going to say he's the producer and co-writer for most of Fede's work. Cinematography by Gaio Oliveras. He DP of Gretel and Hansel from 2020, El Vigilante in 2016, and many other Spanish projects, mostly shorts. Music by Benjamin Wallfish, composer of Twisters, The Flash, Mortal Kombat 2021, It Chapter 2, and Shazam. This guy's just got a weird career.
Yeah, he's having a good year, though.
He's doing good. And edited by Jake Roberts, who did Civil War, Men. Men is very good, very well edited. And Hitman's Bodyguard, and a Kanye West music video.
Damn, he worked with Ye and lived to talk about it? That's insane.
Yes. So this is set between the two Alien films. Rain Carradine is the main character, and her adoptive android brother Andy join forces with a group of young colonists desperate for a means to escape their dire lives working for Weyland-Yutani. A decommissioned space station in orbit above seems to have the chance for escape. Tyler, the last thing that I would want when I'm getting chased by facehuggers and xenomorphs aboard any alien spaceship, on any of them that I've been on, many of them, I would hate to suffer a caffeine crash.
No, adrenaline only gets you so far when you're fighting for your life, and people don't really give the credit to caffeine or energy.
Well,
in general,
that's why I love this wonderful little shot of love, of magic, of focus called Magic Mind. Magic Mind is an energy supplement that you use. You can use it in addition to your coffee, but you take it in the morning. And what it does is when your brain stops feeling the effects of that coffee, is it keeps you locked in. It keeps you focused. It gets you to the end of the day with flying colors.
It is essentially a second phase for your energy. When the caffeine health bar reaches 0, you now enter your second phase of being faster, stronger, better.
Yeah, to get you through the end of the day. And if you have a lot of tasks, if you're trying to study, if you're trying to learn about all the different physiologies of what happens when a human with a baby gets injected with Prometheus fire, if this happens to a lot of people, at least in the future it will.
Yeah.
If you're in that situation, you're going to want to be able to assimilate all of that information and upgrade yourself, much like Andy upgrades himself with Magic Mind.
Yeah, it's going to keep you sharp between the ears and allow you to focus and maintain some of that energy that you might not even realize you're losing to your caffeine dips during the day. I know it was a big wake-up call for me. I didn't realize how tired I got at 4 or 5 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I'm starting a new job, and I've had to become OSHA certified and read through so many new things for work. And I tell you what, without the power of Magic Mind, I would have been suffering. Now, we're doing the Magic Mind Challenge. We're doing the journey where we have the subscription, and we're taking it every day. and we're on week 13. And it's been a game changer, and I'm so ready for this new job challenge with the help of Magic Mind. All natural, tastes great, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, and as somebody who classically eats junk all the time, it is nice to know that I'm putting something natural into my body every now and again.
Yeah, throw those monster energies away and do something that's going to make you feel good, and it's going to be more effective. Try Magic Mind. We're very happy to say we have a limited time offer you can use now that gets you up to 48% off your first subscription or 20% off one-time purchase. If you just want to try, a couple bottles, just try 7, try a week. You can do the one-time purchase, but if you do the subscription, you'll get 48% off, which is a hell of a deal. With the discount code HDogcast20 at checkout, you can claim it at magicmind.com/HDogcast.
I had one brief moment of disappointment with this film, and it happened very early, and it passed very quickly.
Okay.
I did not watch I watched part of the trailer, but I knew I was going to see this movie regardless because it's Fede making an alien movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it.
The trailer doesn't really give anything away, which is nice.
I went back and watched it after I saw the movie. It is a very well done trailer.
Yeah.
There's a couple shots that I wouldn't have included, but it is very good.
The only thing I remember from the trailer is that infrared gun or whatever showing the inside with the creature.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I remember from the trailer, really, other than evocative imagery.
But I was, as being as high as I was on Prometheus and Covenant, I thought maybe this was going to be tangentially related to those two films and take place after. And so when
it does take place after.
But I thought directly. I thought maybe we'd see David again. I know he wasn't billed, but I was like, maybe it's a little cameo at the end sort of thing. I didn't know when this was going to take place. And then when I realized where we were, I was very happy.
Well, and the film, the Nostromo, so the alien creature from the first film was evacuated out. It somehow got embedded in a rock and got back in the ship, and they took it from the ship. So we're not actually in the Nostromo in the movie.
No.
We're in the Romulus and the Remus, and it's like a space station up there. But it's the original alien from Alien is the driving, the original factor for what causes the outbreak. Our main character is Kaylee Spenny. She's great.
Yeah.
She's upcoming right now.
When we got out of the movie, one of the things that we both really liked was that it was incredible talent from the actors, and they were all, at least to you and I, relatively unknown. I didn't know many of these people from anything else.
Yeah.
And that's refreshing to see because you can dye Ben Affleck's hair blonde and put him in a medieval movie next to Matt Damon. And I'm like, this is just Good Will Hunting in the 13th century.
I would be so taken out of this. If this was starring
Will Smith
and Blake Lively.
Oh, I would have, yeah.
Yo, what's up with these aliens? That was the worst Will Smith impression you'll hear this year.
Keep your facehugger out my wife's mouth.
Slap. Yo, we just slapped that alien.
Dude, he just bitch slapped the facehugger.
Yeah, she was in Civil War. She starred as Priscilla in Priscilla. She was in The Craft Legacy, Bad Times of the El Royale and Pacific Rim Uprising.
She's in Bad Time?
I guess so. I haven't seen it.
I own it. It is fantastic.
Yeah.
It is a really good movie.
And she has a role in the new upcoming Knives Out film from Rian Johnson.
Hell yeah.
Which those are fucking good, dude.
And this one's going to be real good.
Daniel Craig is a treasure.
I saw something on Reddit. I wish that they would just call them a Benoit Blanc mystery rather than a Knives Out film.
The problem is that's the same reason Game of Thrones is just Game of Thrones instead of the Song of Ice and Fire. Yeah.
Name brand recognition at this point.
Yeah. Essentially, this is a story of a bunch of young adults in financially trying times in a dire situation being kept down by capitalism who have to go into a haunted house to find some sort of treasure that allows them to escape their current financial troubles.
Can I get an amen?
It's called America, bitch.
That's the American dream right there.
Dude, and it's a haunted house film. It's a big empty house that has something inside they have to get that could help them get out of their current situation.
Yep. And I don't know if it's because of student loan debt or being in my 30s or being born in my generation, but
I think it's all of them.
I think it's all of it. I immediately recognized the motivation and was on their side.
Dude, when the opening of the film, when she's like, I've done my contract, we're just ready to leave. And she's like, sorry, due to the current situation with the company, we've added 10 more years to your contract.
And she does it in real time. You see that she's over her hours, and then she like hits a button and doubles her hours like required to work, which feels like
it's bad.
Yeah, I feel like that wasn't above board.
It's what she was told to do, and it's hard to be. That's what companies are very good at. You can get mad at this woman, but she's also a cog in the machine, and she's probably being forced to stay there, and she's being told she can get out earlier if she does her job right.
Yeah, the next time your Dunkin' Donuts order is wrong and you're throwing your hot coffee at the barista and swearing and ending up on Reddit at public freakout, just realize that person's just in the middle.
We're all fucked by corporations right now.
Yeah.
And they're not here. They're out on their yachts.
Yep. Go throw your coffee at a yacht.
If you can.
If you find one. It's probably a CEO.
Now, she's great. I thought she was 10 out of 10. Perfect choice, perfect acting. She is not my superstar of the film.
No.
And I don't know if this is a new bit where we just have like our favorite thing of the film, but my favorite part of the film, David Johnson is Andy.
Andy is the best part of the movie.
He is phenomenal.
He kills this role.
For one, he's the brother, and you're not sure if he's an android. Initially, at first, you're like, is he like maybe some severe autism?
Yeah.
For one reason or another, he has trouble like communicating normally, and he was reprogrammed as a company android by her father to have one primary objective: do what's best for Rain. And he gets picked on. He's getting beat up right away, and I'm like, that's it. I would die for this man.
Yeah.
And then he does a dad joke. I was like, I will die again. And I will die again for this man. And he's so good. He's integral to the plot as well because they need an android that can use the computers on the space station.
Yep. He is the key to access the system on the Romulus.
And he puts his little finger in.
You know, having dad jokes for Andy's character is such a subtle way of like humanizing him and making him making you like him.
Yeah.
That is so smart, so easy to do, and it's accomplished so fast, which it goes back to my point about Fede just knowing character motivation.
Yeah.
He also understands how to write a character that you're going to be sympathetic or enjoy.
Yeah.
He's very good at this.
And it also, in such a simple way, portrays the love and loss of her father. And every time there's a dad joke, it's her father still caring for her and doing what he can to help her
Speaking through an android.
Through Andy. And I immediately would die for him.
Yep.
Yep. So in these situations, she goes to her ex-boyfriend, Tyler.
Who I didn't realize his name was Tyler until like almost all the way through the movie. It went over my head. And at one point leaned over, I'm like, yo, is his name Tyler? That's pretty cool.
And I'm like, shut up, I'm watching Andy.
Andy was my favorite character until I realized Tyler's name was Tyler. And then I'm like, I fuck with Tyler.
Tyler, he's a little one-dimensional.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be. The main characters are the two we just mentioned. The other ones are there to be like kind of archetypes. He is her ex-boyfriend. He's kind of probably just like a good-looking fuckboy, and he wants to do the right thing. He kind of stands up for Andy, but he doesn't have a lot of like growth. There's no character arc.
No, just a little moment of sacrifice for him at the end, giving himself up.
Yep.
It seems like everybody's prime directive in this is to do what's best for Rain.
Well, she's the one who's got the most going on.
Yep.
We have Isabella Mercedes Kay. She plays a pregnant girl. You might know her from the Nickelodeon television series 100 Things to Do Before High School, Transformers The Last Night, Sicario, Day of the Soldado. She played Dora in the Lost City of Gold.
No shit. Way to go.
And she also is in The Last of Us Season 2.
Oh, cool.
She plays Dina or Dinah.
Oh, that's going to be Dina?
Yep.
That's excellent casting.
Yep. But she is a pregnant woman, and she gets a little infected.
It's just a touch.
We have Spike Fearon as Bjorn. He doesn't like androids because one let his mother die. The android made the right choice. I don't know how to tell it to Spike.
Yeah.
You can't say that to him.
Well, he's a human, and he feels human emotion, and he's unable to rationalize with the loss of his mother, whereas the android's like, this is a situation where the best outcome has been achieved. I'm sorry.
I love... we'll get there. Eileen Wu is Navarro. This is her first feature film she's ever been in, and she's on the fucking poster.
Yeah, she is.
Good for her. Ian Holm as Rook.
The only big criticism I'm seeing is that they used his likeness.
There's 2 criticisms I've been seeing, and I agree with both of them.
Yep.
I don't mind that. Okay, what I don't mind is the likeness. I don't mind that they used him because they went to his estate and they talked with the people that own the likeness and his family. And his widow said, in his last 10 years, Ian Holm, he felt like Hollywood kind of turned his back on him, and they didn't, like, no one came calling, and he kind of was disappointed. He wanted to do more work, but no one was offering him stuff. And this was a character that he did love, and they did it with utmost care and respect for the family, which I don't know if that's protocol, which I appreciated that. It looked bad to me.
See, I didn't think it looked all that bad. It definitely gave me a little uncanny valley at some points.
Yeah.
But going to the estate and getting the family's approval before moving forward, I think, is a very classy act, especially as we move closer and closer to a future where this is going to be done a lot.
Video game voice actors just went on strike. Not long ago, a couple weeks ago, I want to say, about AI.
Yeah. And I mean, like, putting somebody in a role that they might not necessarily have picked because of any number of objections to the character's writing or the character's character is a dangerous ground. And
it doesn't serve a purpose. You know, it could have been any android. It could have been another David model. It could have been a Winona Ryder model from Alien 4. It could have been a new android. It could have been anyone. And another actor lost a job, but Daniel Betts also voices Rook, so they got someone to come in and voice Ian Holm. They paid him a very small fraction of what Ian Holm would have costed. And then they paid a lot of animators ultimately to just achieve what they could have had one lesser-known actor shining a role. I don't know.
The only problem is, in order for this to work narratively in the time that they wanted it to work in the chronological order of the franchise, they had to have him, apparently.
No, they didn't. Well, that is zero true.
I believe that's why they did it.
It's not even the same android.
I know, but they were trying to link it to Alien, and so having his likeness further solidifies that this is where this is supposed to happen.
Dude, put another Andy up there. How fucking weird would that have been?
They just did that in Covenant, though.
Well, I know, but you can do that. Have it be a Fassbender model.
That was what I was hoping for.
Have it be a Winona Ryder model, but she's 200 years in the future. But I don't know. I found it distracting and unnecessary.
I am okay with it because of the way that it was done. But like I said, it's dangerous ground. Mm-hmm. But I do agree with what you were saying. They could have paid a lesser-known actor or even a very good actor to do the part.
All right. So as far as the Alien franchise, what this changes, this is 20 years after Alien, 37 years before Aliens. The xenomorph, we explained, is the same one, and it shows an accelerated life cycle. Bjorn and Kay find a cocoon on the wall, demonstrating how the chest bursters mature. The alien creatures often spend most of the films off screen, so this is the first time the films have actually shown how they develop. They had to explain an accelerated life cycle, which is one of the things that I've seen some reviewers just on their high horse about, like, it would take longer for aliens to form and this and that. I'm like, as someone who's I don't have the Bible tattooed on me for how Alien works, I just really enjoyed it. And I think they did explain a little bit of how the accelerated life cycle happens. Plus there's black goo on the ship, which I don't know if that changed things too. The Prometheus goo. Yeah.
You make it make sense, and it works. That's the only thing you have to do in a sci-fi film. Literally, the world is your oyster. You are creating science fiction. You can rewrite laws.
Yeah.
And as long as you justify them and they make sense and it works, then you can get away with it.
Yeah.
It's one of the beauties with sci-fi and fantasy for that reason is
you're only limited by creativity.
Yeah, you can really expand on worlds and write yourself out of corners or, broaden your horizons by just making shit make sense.
Oh, you already made it to Landell? Sorry, you got to go to a forge now.
Yeah, sorry.
It's like, oh, you actually have to climb a mountain and get the armor of forgiveness if you want to fight the king.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't make the fucking rules, man. They do this later on, too, where she is not a trained army veteran. She's not a soldier.
Yeah.
She has to kill like 20 aliens in the course of a minute. And they have to explain auto assist with the gun. And I'm fine with that. That was them coming with a science fiction reasoning behind it.
Yeah, because if she just went full fucking Rambo Arya Stark on him, like that doesn't make sense for her character. But an aim assist bot on a futuristic sci-fi machine gun,
yes,
that makes sense.
The gravity things that they use in this, phenomenal.
Yep.
They start off kind of just showing how the gravity can be turned on and turned off, and I was like, something's happening. Something's happening. And when she gets in the situation later, when you can't shoot them because the acid blood is that they're at the bottom of the ship, and it would sink through the ship, causing the pressure to blow the ship up, essentially.
Does a ship capsize in space? Is that what you call it?
I think it would implode. Kind of like a submarine underground.
Yeah. Do you call that a capsize? What is capsizing?
Capsizing is in a boat when it tips over and the water's on top of it, I believe.
Oh.
But so she can't shoot them. Otherwise, it's essentially killing everybody. So when she turns the gravity off.
Because Andy says a dad joke that makes her think about it.
That's writing right there.
That's foreshadowing two different times.
I forget what his dad joke was too, and that's not only Andy being an OG, that's her father still taking care of her, which feels. But then you think it's so brilliant she's able to shoot them all, but then you also see that now the entire hallway is full of floating acid blood you have to get through. It's like, fuck, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, she goes full Catherine Zeta-Jones dipping beneath the lasers.
Yeah.
In 0G.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Fede's known for using like practical effects pretty famously in a lot of his films. Mm-hmm. His use of practical effects mixed with the CG that's used in this, it's really well done.
You know, something they did really interesting in this too is they filmed it all chronologically.
Really?
Which that is a rare gift for actors and filmmakers. It's almost never done because to logistically have the sets available at different points. Like one of the first things Sam and Frodo shot was them on Mount Doom, and it was just like kind of the way scheduling wound up, and they wound up rescheduling because they're both like, this isn't working for us. We're not ready yet.
Yeah. You have to experience the journey as the actor, and I'm sure that's very important for your character's performance to understand the trials and tribulations they've gone through. So it only, I think, benefits the actors the most, but also the director, because you're on the journey with the actors, and maybe they're pulling a certain emotion really well. So you can kind of do like live rewrites and for different takes, pull out the different emotion that you see working with the characters.
Yeah.
And it gives it kind of this like streamlined continuity.
It's very organic.
Yes.
Yeah. So they have to go on and get these space pods so they can get to Ivaga, and they need fuel. They accidentally, by pulling out the fuel canisters, wake up some face huggers, and
something in the water.
They're in the water. They're in the water.
I thought he was toast there.
If anyone should have been toast.
Yeah.
They get locked in that room though, and Andy must receive a new chip.
Yes.
Dude, when he puts his chip in and he has to go through the upgrade process, he fucking goes rigor mortis and his eyes go up in his head and you see the Weyland-Yutani logo.
Yep. And he freezes while they have face huggers in the water. You have this beautiful red lighting that is just perpetuating doom.
It's 80s sci-fi look. It's old school lighting. It's not Prometheus like clean futuristic new displays. All of the displays looks like the original Alien film.
Yeah, it's gritty.
Which I love.
Yep.
Well, it's not even only gritty. It's like the Vectress line work and stuff. It's
what they thought the future would look like.
Yes. And that's great. That's consistency.
The Romulus runs on an Atari 2600. We get one of the best shots in the entire film while Andy's rebooting. It's his eyes rolling back, but at the same time, Tyler's in the water, and we see the facehugger lunge at him, and we get a nice, tight, extreme close-up of the tube trying to go down Tyler's throat as he's like, and it's very phallic and very aggressive, and it's searching for his mouth, and he fights it off, which it was just gut-wrenching.
It's a hungry tentacle trying to find purchase.
It is gross.
Down a man's throat.
Yeah, it was not pleasant.
It was, but also I'm like, oh, I'm having fun.
Yeah, that was gross. I love it.
It's in his mouth. Get me out of here.
Oh
And
man,
Andy's just upgrading. Well, when they get him out, and then Navarro, Eileen Wu's character, she has a face hugger on her, and they're trying to rip it out, and Andy upgrades. Is like, don't do that. You're gonna kill her. And all of a sudden, you can tell Andy's different.
Yeah.
It's like a little switch goes off, and he is now Terminator Andy. He is company Andy, and he doesn't move slow. He kicks ass.
yeah, and it's his mannerisms change, his speech changes. It's more confident. It's more fluent. It's very precise and analytical.
He's playing two roles.
Yeah, his body, his posture changes. He's more upright. He's more just. He's very, in my mind, he was very Fassbender from Prometheus. How you move like very tall and
With purpose.
yeah.
I love original Andy. He's kind of hunched over. He's got like a dopey like sleepiness to him that's just really sweet.
Yeah.
He's just a sweet guy. And then all of a sudden, they get the face hugger off of her, and he's like, "We can't go back on the ship. She can't come with us. This is bad." And so we have the Bjorn. He says, "Fuck that," and he runs away with her. And then Andy, this is when you ran to the bathroom.
Yeah, I had to go.
And Andy looks over at Rain and he says, he says something like, "You're not going to look at me like I'm a kid anymore." And then he just sprints away. Like he goes full speed. He's ducking and diving through doors that are closing. He's full Terminator. And one is about to close, and he grabs it with one hand and pulls the door back up. And I'm like, where's Tyler?
There's no good time to go to the bathroom, and I had far too many beers at this point for my bladder.
They do the pacing for this film so well. It's so slow, and it's just building up and building up. And you don't see, you see the face hugger, and that's not until like probably 35 minutes in. And then you don't get an alien until probably like an hours and a half in.
Yeah, it's a slow burn that is constantly putting the pressure on the audience, kind of keeping you on the edge of your seat just because you care for the characters, you understand the motivations now, and now shit's about to go down. And you know this is an alien film, so you know some crazy shit's about to happen. You just don't know when.
Well, and Andy and Rook, before he runs off, Rook is looking at Andy and he says, "These humans are not going to make the right decisions. That you need to take care of them because they are going to get everyone hurt." And it is true. Rook works for the company, and now Andy, with the upgrade, his new primary objective is do what's best for Weyland-Yutani.
Yeah.
And so that's bad, but you can't bring someone that's infected on board the fucking ship. Are you guys crazy?
Yeah, that's like rule number one of every sci-fi movie ever.
Isolation protovcols were not taught in high school.
No.
We knew about the Dewey Decimal System, but never isolation protocols.
When Rain, after the shits hit the fan, and she's like, "Andy," and her voice is shaking, and she can tell something's different. She says, "Andy, what's your primary directive?"
Yeah.
And to do what's best for the company. It just like the moment of like, I've lost him.
That's terrifying too. That's sci-fi horror where your friend is now possessed. It's a different person. Your brother you've grown up with, who is your only family member alive, is no longer your brother. That's horrifying.
And you're in a haunted fucking house with him.
You're in a haunted fucking house.
And back when he was regular brother, I could almost just telepathically communicate with him, and I knew what he was going to do before he would do it because we're like symbiotic.
And it's one of those things, you think you don't like the dad jokes, but the moment they're gone, you're like,
I want the dad jokes again.
I want the dad jokes.
Can you, Andy, tell me a joke?
Things do keep escalating. Navarro's dead. Kay, pregnant woman, gets infected. Bjorn's killed a little bit later on. And it gets to a point where they need to get to a ship. And Andy is worried about the pregnant girl. For one, he won't open the door for her first. He's like, "No, can't do it." The alien's waiting just far enough away. They're like, "We can open the door and get her in time." And he's like, "Of course we can't."
And you see.
It's bait.
Yep. And you can see the alien. That's one of the good horror uses of horror in this is there's often times where you can see the xenomorph like dip up out of frame or just be perched somewhere. Like it is hunting them.
And the best thing they do is rarely show the alien. Just show the shape, show some wetness, and some like lights in the shadows.
Yep. Compared to like Evil Dead and Don't Breathe, Evil Dead definitely being the most gory of Fede's films, I expected a lot more gore than what we got. But it seems like he knows when to dial it in. Like with Deadites, yeah, you want to show the puke and the cutting your tongue off and the grossness up close and personal. But with Alien, it's what you don't see oftentimes, which is what scares you the most.
And it's like body horror. It's what's happening inside of you that is the real terrifying thing. The pregnant woman gets taken. Eventually, they save her from the cocoon. Tyler dies, and Andy says, if we give her this, he calls it Prometheus's fire, I believe. Yes, Andy finds samples of a compound scientists had extracted from the xenomorphs, the black goo. He calls it the Prometheus fire, intended to perfect humans. It's meant to be brought to the colony and helps humans fight disease and to evolve. And
I don't think it works the way they want it to work. Or maybe it's used wrong.
But his new objective is to get the goo to the colony, and he is saying he'll let them go to Ivaga if they help each other out. And at one point, Kay is in a bad spot, and he says there's a 25% chance this will help her. And I'm sitting there like, no. And he wouldn't allow that unless Andy wouldn't allow it if he thinks it'll save her, but maybe he does want to see what's going to happen. That could be the only logical thing for him to do there.
Yeah. And she does end up taking it.
Well, they stop her. And then when she's on the elevator, she's like, fuck it, I'm going to take it.
Yep. And then she injects herself with a gooey EpiPen.
But it's fine.
For a minute.
It's fine. They eventually, they do make it back. Andy has to remove the upgraded chip because it's the only way to like get them back to the ship. So then there's another good gravity sequence where they have to climb up this elevator shaft. And well, as soon as I see that happening, I'm like, I knew that the gravity was going to start playing a role in this. And so the alien's chasing her. Andy does this badass move where he jumps down and takes the alien down with him. And then he says the dumbest line in the movie. Get away from her, you bitch. He's directly quoting Sigourney Weaver from Aliens.
It was fan service, definitely.
In the worst way.
Yeah. It was probably the worst line of the movie.
It's not his character.
No.
The thing is, I get it. You are trying to placate people. Oh, that's from the other one. And they're going to clap and be happy about it.
Yeah.
It felt badass in the moment. To me, he should have said a funny dad joke.
Yeah.
He did the badass thing. There's nothing more badass than what he just did. Just have him say a dumb line about like, make a joke about falling or something.
Yeah. There's like if he landed on her, he's like, it's not the fall that kills you. It's the landing.
Yeah. Something. And that could be the new badass line. But instead he directly quotes Sigourney Weaver from the next movie. That is chronologically after this. And also Andy wouldn't say bitch.
No, he doesn't need to.
He doesn't say bitch. He's not a guy that says bitch.
Yeah. He doesn't have bitch energy.
No, he is an android. Androids don't cuss. It's not productive.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
Unless they really had to stress something to humans. Because sometimes humans only respond to...
don't go in there. What? Don't go in there.
Don't fucking go in there.
Don't fucking go in there.
That works.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
You mean it.
I see. That and Ian Holm are the only negatives for me.
Yeah, otherwise the film is batting like a solid 850 here.
Not a second of wasted time. Real horror. I love... Now, some people also have an issue with the third act, the fake out ending.
In my opinion, the best part of the movie.
I was so high.
Oh my God.
Not on drugs, on the movie. I don't smoke. I was fucking just ear to ear. I'm like, I can't believe we're getting more. I was already super happy, and they gave us more.
Yeah, so we get through the zero G acid tunnel scene, and Kay has taken the goopy EpiPen, and she's pregnant. And this is probably going to have detrimental effects to her child. Yeah, so Kay has taken the goopy EpiPen, and it has negatively affected her child. Because
that's the nicest way to say it made a fucking monster inside of her.
We get some real good body horror here, because would this be a good alien movie without a weird pregnancy sort of thing? Because that seems to be their bread and butter nowadays.
Now, to me, the xenomorph, it's very cool. I've also seen it on a million t-shirts, on cups, on
video games,
on everything.
Yep.
It's all over the place. The xenomorph has less of an effect on me than it used to. And when all of a sudden the movie keeps going and she's giving birth to something else and you don't know what it is, I'm like, oh, we're going to get some weird shit. And I got my tingles going. And then she goes down and she just sees footsteps walking away. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, because it like this womb comes out and Rain picks it up. And I believe it has like acid on it because it hurts her. Or she ends up dropping it very quickly.
Yeah.
And you see it like what looks like a human child's face in the womb. And I was like, that's not good.
Dude, it was cosmic horror in the best way possible. It is the unknown. It is biological horror. It is, the child, just as a concept, represents the future. And if things go the way of capitalism and Weyland-Yutani, and what happens to humanity is we become the monster.
Yeah.
If we can't protect our humanity and escape. This film is about escaping capitalism in a big way.
Oh, yeah.
And this fucking monster. And I want to call out the actor, the hybrid. It's credited in the credits as The Offspring. And it's played by Robert Bobrazicki. He is a basketball player.
Really?
And he's 7'7". You've seen pictures of a dude that looks abnormally super skinny and super tall. That's him.
No shit.
That's him.
That's awesome.
It's very cool. And it is the most... I started just fucking laughing at the screen when I saw it because I was so excited and terrified.
Yeah. Well, when you see the baby's face in the womb, and then a few moments later we see footsteps, and we've already seen the accelerated growth process with the xenomorph. So now you know this is happening to the child. There was a brief moment where I was like, okay, so if this is supposed to like create a superhuman, we're either getting a monstrosity or we're getting like a fucking superhero type human who maybe has I don't know what's about to happen. Like there was so much room for possibility, but then you get the shot of it on all fours, like a fucking monster out of like a Dead Space movie. It is behind Rain.
It's horrifying. And it is not anything I expected, which made it 30 times better. It's new. And it had me. I was on the edge of my seat. I was so in. And then it crawls towards its mother. And I was like, is he going to suck on her tit? Because it's a baby.
Yeah.
It is a big baby. But he starts like feeding on her and eating her.
Yeah.
And that's part of the food chain in some species too.
Yeah, it is.
And I couldn't be more excited. And it's then, she has to deal with it. Rain has to deal with it. And she uses acid to compromise the bottom of the ship. So it opens up. And then you get that like quiet of the vacuum of space.
Yeah, this movie uses silence. That's something we failed to mention. It's happened a couple times already in this movie.
When the ship's about to hit the other one?
Silence.
Yeah.
Because in space, no one can hear you scream. There is no way for sound to travel.
But also, they can't hear you fart.
Actually, they don't. But if you fart, you will fly. Did you know that?
I like that.
Because if it's propulsion.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
You would theoretically move.
Sorry to interrupt your point on silence, though.
But the use of silence in this movie is very well done because it definitely puts you in the gravity of space. Mm-hmm. That was a nice pun that I accidentally said there.
See, that's something Andy would say.
Yeah,
Andy fucking star of the film.
Yeah. So Rain melts the floor, drops the bottom out of the ship, and the entire time this movie's on a countdown because the ship when they powered it up, it accelerated the crash protocol into the asteroid belt that it's slowly hovering towards.
She's not getting off of there now. She's done.
Yeah, and part of the ship is already hidden, and she hooks herself up to a hook, like a pulley system.
Yep.
And in a spacesuit, hangs out the bottom of a depleted ship,
Yep.
like a broken ship, to send the hybrid into the asteroid. Yeah, into the asteroid belt, and it is beautifully shot because it is so colorful, so quiet, and so horrifying. Because you get a nice close up of this thing's skin reacting to the atmosphere of space.
Fucking creepy.
And it's like melting off, and then it's so good.
Yeah, and she has overcome her trials. She has earned the right. She went through everything. She gets to escape, and she's told before early in the film, at Ivaga, Andy will not be allowed to be there. It's a human colony. They will get rid of him. And she says, no, you're coming with me. I don't care. We'll figure it out when we get there. I'm not leaving you behind. I'm like, I'm not crying, dude.
Yeah. Just dusty in here.
It's a little dusty in here. And I hope to fucking God we get Alien Remus and it's them or something like that.
Yeah. Romulus and Remus were the two brothers that are the urban legend on how Rome was founded.
Yes, I got a little notes on that. Twin brothers born to the god of war, Vestal Virgin.
Yeah, and they fought on a hill. Well, they both. Let me see if I remember this. So they both wanted to settle a city, I believe, and they picked like two different spots, and then they were like, well, whichever one has more crows or vultures or something land on the hill, that's where we're gonna go. And then they end up disputing, and then they fight,
and
Romulus wins,
and
that's
makes Rome.
It's Rome. Was I right?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. History of Rome podcast really saved my ass there.
Fantastic. It's and it's, who gets to decide the future of our race? Who gets to decide the future of your life? And it's and Fede has said, like, I hope people get more out of this film than just, a titillating horror film. Because he's like, to me, this is about my experience growing up in a third world country and desperately doing what I can to escape from being under the thumb and create a life for myself. And so, I mean, it's about a lot of conflicting ideas and fighting for your side of an argument. That's to me why it's called Romulus, and they mention Remus as well.
Yeah, it's the beginning of something that is great for a long time, and then just like, Rome grew to such a superpower, it was inevitably going to fail, especially in the time period that it was created. Nothing can withstand the test of time that long. I've played enough Civilization to realize this. Eventually, you will get nuked.
Yeah.
Probably by Gandhi.
Yeah, man, so Gandhi, what a dick. Yeah, I hope we get another film with Kaylee Spaney.
Yeah.
She's great. She's fantastic, and I hope we get more of Andy. I hope this isn't a one-off, because Prometheus and Covenant, one leads to the other, but we only had Noomi Rapace, and then we had the other actress in the next one. And I wouldn't mind seeing more of Kaylee Spaney and Andy or David Johnson.
They got enough room now to actually do some stuff with it too. And I'm totally fine with Alien kind of branching out and doing another film like Remus or Ivaga. Like Alien Ivaga, and she gets there and it's like, this ain't paradise no more.
I'm so excited about this movie, and it's the best alien horror film since Alien. It's not my favorite. It's not number 2 in my ranking, but it is. I haven't been excited about an alien movie like profoundly in a while, and I'm there. I'm there, man. And the other day I saw a fucking logo for something new from Star Wars, and I can't fucking care anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Acolyte got canceled.
Good for them.
Good for them.
They got it coming. And you have Alien, you have my attention. Don't fuck it up.
Yeah, please, for the love of God, don't make a television series. Just keep making movies. I don't need more series.
Are they doing a television?
No, but it seems like everything wants to be episodic television nowadays. You have a good IP and it's like, all right, let's milk it for 10 episodes every 2 years.
Well, you know what's the 10 episode model makes people stay subscribed for 2.5 months.
Really? Is that the science behind it?
It is.
Oh, yeah. Well, as long as you release them once a week.
Yeah. which is the best way to release things too.
Stop dropping everything at once.
Fuck you, Stranger Things. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if they do make another one, if Fede wants to do another one. Famously, he was supposed to make a direct sequel to 2013 Evil Dead, but that kind of fell through. I don't know if that was poor box office or Sam Raimi wanting to do something different, because they ended up moving to Showtime and doing Ash versus the Evil Dead. So, I mean, promise sequels are kind of like in his past. But he's always moved on to create something different and new every time that I've enjoyed watching.
Yeah.
So regardless of what he does next, I hope it's Alien again. But I'm happy that he kind of punched his ticket to do whatever he wants, I feel, because this is doing very well at the box office.
I don't know the stats offhand. It is extremely successful though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's bigger than Prometheus was, but it is, it's making money, and it's on the critical side. The only people I've seen speaking negative about it are coming off to me as just real sardonic people who want to be upset. To me, this was exactly what I want from an Alien film, and I'm sorry if not all of the logic from Alien, the franchise, has worked. But also, I mean, we saw the end of Alien Resurrection. Do you remember the end of Alien Resurrection?
No.
Because a clone of Ripley has her DNA spliced with a xenomorph, and there is a human xenomorph hybrid with a skull face, and it is bad. And that happens in this universe, but that's not for a couple hundred years.
Yeah, so we're good. We have plenty of room to play around.
Yes. Yeah. Should we rank it?
Yeah, let's throw it on the list.
Okay. So we'll go right in the middle. We have 46 movies. At the very bottom is Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. I'm just going to need to mention that. 23. Well, we'll go 24.
You're going to put it right next to Evil Dead, aren't you?
Well, at 23, we have Evil Dead Rise, and at 24, we have Evil Dead. So we have Rise above Evil Dead, actually.
I think I got outvoted for that.
Oh, wait, no, that's Evil Dead OG.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say.
Okay, so Evil Dead Rise or Alien Romulus?
Romulus.
Agreed. Barbarian or Romulus?
Ooh, that's a tough one for me.
I'm going Romulus.
I think I got to go Romulus.
It's got cooler sci-fi concepts, and it sticks the landing. Barbarian's third act falters apart.
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2013 or Romulus?
Evil Dead 2013.
Romulus.
We got a rock, paper, scissors.
So 1, 2, 3, and then say it out loud.
So 1, 2, 3, and then...
Yep.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, rock.
Paper.
Okay.
Ooh, I won. Yes.
All right. So that puts it at number 17.
And Evil Dead 2013 is 16?
Yep.
So Fede's got 2 spots in a row.
Yep. It is below Saltburn, though.
Yeah, but Saltburn was so divisive for us. That was
fun. Our number 1 film is The Shining.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did move that up. And then No Country for Old Men after that? Or Inglourious Bastards?
Bastards, No Country for Old Men, Hateful Eight. Yeah.
We had a good list going.
We got a good list. And if you want access to about 9 or 10 other Popcorn Dogs you haven't listened to, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Hair of the Dogcast. We have a free trial. Check it out. There's a lot of stuff there. Exclusive Elden Dogs, Raw Dogs, Dogcast, a lot of stuff. And there's a free trial. You don't have an excuse. And if you don't want to support us that way, another way you could support us is to just leave a review. We have a lot of listeners, and we don't get enough reviews that is proportional to how many listeners we have, and that bothers me. So write a review. It takes 5 seconds to just leave a 5-star and say they're cool.
Yeah. Just be gentle. I'm very sensitive.
He's very fragile.
I'm very fragile.
Yes.
My ego can't take many negative reviews. So if you have to, just lie to me.
I got a little chest burster that's just high life inside of me right now. Yep. It's very angry.
Yeah.
If you put the infrared gun on me, it's like, did you eat a can?
Is that the moon woman in there?
That's my heart.
Yeah. It's an infernal engine.
Special thanks to executive producers Ryan Christianip, Kipper, Brian Ward, Jordan Hoff, Phil Wright, Phil Just Phil, Cole Delgardno, Bryant Ross, Kelly Gutowski, Justin Melly, and Imagine Wagons 69420. We appreciate all of you. And don't forget to check out the sponsor of the show, Magic Mind. Use the discount code HDogcast20 at magicmind.com/HDogcast, and you will also survive the aliens chasing you. And I don't know what's next for us. And in mini reviews, 5-minute mini reviews, Furiosa, very good.
Yeah, we should do a Furiosa episode. I think it deserves one.
It'll be a companion episode. It'll be Fury Road and Furiosa.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I did see Maxine.
Oh, really?
Is good.
Is it not as good as the other two? Because I think X is... I don't even think I saw the second one, actually.
I would put it on... It's number 3 in the trilogy, but it's still good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take care of yourselves. And don't upgrade your androids.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Learn a few dad jokes.
You never know. They might just save your life.
If you have a good dad joke for what Andy should have said when he lands on the alien, let us know. We want to know the best line he could have said.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.